We're going to take a couple of minutes just to be able to more deeply introduce the concept of using Facebook Messenger for a third-party tool. Now, if you have already gone through the ATM training that is in the social media section, this is a great way to be able to segue conversations into third party. In the context of an ATM, we are going to briefly review that. But for those of you who are just utilizing it outside of the ATM method, you can certainly use this as well. So first of all, we're going to assume that this is part of the ATM process. We're going to add the prospect into the group. As such, we are going to tag them in a message, a post that we have chosen. In this case, it is a presentation. And then we are going to bring them into Facebook Messenger for the message. I'm going to take a couple of seconds to be able to let Jeff know that I added him into the group that we discussed. I tagged him in a Facebook post, and then kind of setting the tone for what we're going to do next, right? That's really important, is not just to add and tag them, but then to set the tone, seal the deal as far as what the next step is going to be. So that's just a basic review on what you would have learned in the social media training. Even if you're not doing this in the context of social media and add tag message campaigns, you certainly would want to do this anyways. You would want to introduce kind of like what you've already told the person. If you were in a sit down and they said, I really want to be able to receive some information on the compensation plan, well, this would be a context in which you would add that information into the context of this message. But you would start the conversation telling them what you are following up with based on the conversation, and making sure that you have a date and time set up for your next time to chat. So would 8:30 p.m. work for you? Would you prefer to chat or video? So this particular Facebook message feature allows for you to have a phone conversation right in here. It also allows for you to have a video chat right in here. You can actually video chat with up to 50 people as a group in Facebook Messenger. It's a pretty powerful tool. Now, two things I did here. I gave him two choices. I said, would 8:30 p.m. work for you? I didn't say when, would tonight work? I said, would 8:30 p.m. work? Because if there's less choices, they're more apt to make a choice. If 8:30 did not work, he would have said no, but he said yes. And then I said, would you prefer to chat or video? And he said, let's video. Great. So, the next day, I did a confirmation, looking forward to chatting later tonight at 8:30 p.m. I didn't say, would it be all right if we did that? I said very positively, looking forward to chatting later tonight at 8:30 p.m. And he responded saying, great. Okay, so far we're headed in the right direction. At 8:30 p.m., I touched the little video camera and it allowed for us to video chat. When you're video chatting, it's much more connecting. You're able to see the person's eyes and facial expressions. You're able to get a better read on what their interest is and what their interest is not. So we video chatted, and in that video chat, it was discovered that we have a lot of things in common, that he really liked what he saw in the homework that I gave him, whether it was in the Facebook group or just maybe something I handed to him or connected to him in a Facebook Messenger. He really, really liked it. So I said to him, you know what? Really good time for me to be able to introduce you to one of the other team members who you'd be working really closely with. Chelsea Fournier is a phenomenal mentor. She's been a great business partner. I want to give you the chance to see the kind of caliber people that you would be able to work with. So I then transition it to a group. How do I do that? I click this little I button up here, and it gives me a drop-down menu to be able to choose to turn this into a group conversation, right? So seamlessly transitioning from a single conversation to a group conversation. So if you're using an iPhone, it is a little bit different, but the same features are on the iPhone as well. So here we are. I connected them, have a group, and then I edified Chelsea to Jeff and Jeff to Chelsea. I said, hey there, Jeff, wanted to introduce you to my business partner, Chelsea. Chelsea's been working with LifeVantage for about 4.5 years now, has had a lot of success with the company, has had a strong background as a small business attorney and entrepreneur. She's a great mentor, a wonderful person to work with. I'm excited that we get to chat with her today. Chelsea, this is Jeff. Jeff's an artist, a person who is health activated individual. He's seen the full presentation video in the Inspired Growth Facebook group and really resonates with the information that he's heard. I wanted to show him the kind of quality team support that we have within our team. Also, he has a really great question around how someone like him, who has no network marketing experience, might be able to gain the knowledge and skills to be successful in LifeVantage. So let me break this down for you, okay? First of all, I edified Chelsea to Jeff because he needs to know why it's so cool that he gets to talk to this person, and also edified Jeff to Chelsea so that he can feel really honored, and also Chelsea knows more about him to be able to understand how to communicate with him. Then the other thing that I do is I tell Chelsea in that process what Jeff has already seen. This is why it's so important to make sure that you're working within the Facebook group or utilizing tools that your upline support team member is really familiar with so that they'll understand what the prospect has already seen. And then I'm also letting her know what questions he has. So edifying, letting the advisor know what they've seen, and then letting them know what kind of questions that they have. These are all really important things to know for the advisor. Next, the advisor says, yay, thanks for the introduction. Nice to meet you, Jeff. Kim is such a great connector, isn't she? So this is Chelsea edifying me. This is also an important process, part of this process. I'd be delighted to hop on a video tonight. Would 7 p.m. work? It wasn't the agreed upon time. That's perfectly fine because Jeff says, sure. It's great for me as well. So the next step is, okay, let's do it then at 7 p.m., going in my calendar. This is a really important little phrase here because when Chelsea says it's going in my calendar, that implies to Jeff, oh, it should go in my calendar as well. We're treating this as a very important appointment. And that's what happens with very important appointments is they go in a calendar. And so when it's time to video chat, all we need to do again is hit this little button that looks like a video camera, and we are off and running to bring the conversation to the next level. The other really awesome thing about three-way Facebook Messenger is, let's say that this conversation fizzles out for whatever reason. Jeff goes on vacation, he falls off your radar. You can go through this conversation stream in the history of your messages and then remember what you had already talked about, insert a nice conversation starter. You can do that both as the person who opened the conversation, because it's your prospect, but you can also do this as the advisor. If you as the advisor are seeing that this conversation has kind of fizzled, you can hop in and say, hey, I remember we had this conversation as a group about 4 weeks ago. Would love to catch up and see where you're at now. So this is a really powerful tool, both for the prospect, because they have access really easily, for the bridge, because there's just so many ways that you can leverage this and have ease of access to your upline support team member, as well as for the advisor, because they can be a valuable tool in restarting the conversation if it fizzles. Thanks. Talk to you soon.